Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Becky D in the morning. Of course, always traveling, always on the road, always getting from point A to point B the same way you do every day. But I wanted to know if you had an extra companion in your car today. And I'm not talking about a human physical thing, a human being, somebody who has blood vessels and all that stuff and who gets oxygen. I'm talking about something of more the imaginary. Okay. Unfortunately, they go by the name of fear. F-E-A-R. Okay. And I've recently found out that fear can mean two things. Okay. It can mean forget everything and run. Or you can face everything and rise. Now, strictly it's up to you what you do. But typically in heightened situations such as emergencies or natural disasters or whatever the case may be, where a natural cause of fear is among us, or like this coronavirus, we tend to, want to forget everything and run. If you ever watch a good scary movie, you notice, no offense to all the people out there, but certain people tend to go the opposite direction that they need to go. And we make jokes about it and we laugh and we say, oh my gosh, don't be that person in a scary movie and everything. But my question is, why are we running? Because by the time you get to the end of the scary movie, you realize that it was somebody in a mask or some spirit or entity that, didn't really matter. It's like a Scooby-Doo moment. You say Jankies and, it's like it was, Professor such and such, and he had all this tech and he was doing this and doing that. You find out how minute, how small the actual fear is then. But when we immediately get up and run, we never award and afford ourselves the opportunity to say, hey, wait a minute. Is this actually huge? Now, when we have natural disasters, it's common for us to, want to pack up our house and move our family and get out of the way of danger. But a question that has been posed to me ever since I was a little kid, everything that's been on my mind was, what if you go the same direction the storm is going? We're men, we're human made, we're not as great at predicting stuff as we think we are. We got to understand that there is some human error to be made. That's why the term human error arises, especially in science, because you have to account for such things. I don't know if you've ever been in a science lab with those little droppers, but I can guarantee you may have done 2 extra drops in your science experience in chemistry that you didn't mean to, but you have to write in your notes human error, because you, human, made a simple error. But going back to the topic at hand, fear is something that ultimately drives us. I decided back in 2013, 14, someplace around there, that I was going to live fearlessly. That didn't mean I was not going to fear. I was simply going to fear less. Because simply, I decided that I'm no longer going to let fear hinder me from going out and doing the things that I want to do. I'm no longer going to let fear hold me back in the corner when I can go out on the main stage and be the greatest that I have been called to be. I'm no longer going to let fear keep me concealed in this little bottle when I know I was meant to be a whole drink fountain. We let fear keep us so closed in and hidden and controlled and under a rock. We're not Patrick Star. If you notice on SpongeBob, Patrick Star is scared of everything. He is fearful of everything. The one time he feels great, he feels mighty, he doesn't know what to do with it. So for those of you who had kids, are you feeding fear into your kids as well? Is that all they see? Is that all they're going to know? Is that what we're teaching them? That when fear comes, when trouble comes, and it's a little bit scary, it's a little bit unexpected, we're going to forget everything and just run. When we have to do a public speaking engagement, we're going to just say, you know what? I don't think that's for me, dog. And keep it rolling. No. You have to set the example. You have to set the example for yourself. If you don't have an example, here you go. I'm one for you. Look at me. I'm stepping out on faith. I'm stepping out. I'm facing everything and I'm running with it, okay? I'm facing everything and I'm telling you, I'm trying to rise. I'm trying to rise better than bread right now, okay? For those of you who don't know, bread actually rises in the cooking process. I know we are a microwave society and everything is instant and we don't get to see that. But bread actually rises when it cooks, just in case y'all don't know. All right, that was my little segue into some more educational information that you all may have not known. Anyways, so the only type of running I'm doing is the running to the top of the mountain. Now, when you are faced with a mountain in your life, it could be snow at the top, it could just be, plain standard stone mountain. But do you look at it and you're like, man, I can't climb that? Or do you look at it and be like, because once you say I can't, you've already discounted yourself. You've already taken you off the shelf as an option. You are no longer a candidate for success. You have given up on yourself before you even started. When I was in first grade, my teacher told me that her name was Miss White. She told me that can't was a cuss word. My gullible self believed her. Now, she had already given us the education that can't was the contraction of cannot. And, she went and explained why it was a cuss word and how we shouldn't use it and everything. So when we came across the word CAN''T, I was hesitant to say the word. But what she did, and I didn't realize at the time, was made sure that I understand that I should always have an I can statement in my life. I should never discount myself before I even start. Before I even put the pencil to the paper, I shouldn't say I can't do this. My mama say I can't do this. She said I'll never be this. I'll never be that. But what she did was started me on my way to having an I can life, having that fearless mentality that I can do whatever I put my mind to. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, okay? So you're standing at the base of that mountain and you're just like, ain't no way I'm about to climb this mountain. We all know I can't climb. I'm out of shape. I'm this and I'm that. I can't remember his name right now, but there's this overweight man. And he's now, I think, classified as obese now because he's lost a lot of weight. But he didn't go to the marathon saying, I can't. He went to the marathon saying, I can finish this race. But no one said I had to run. So what he did was he lost weight by going to marathons and running as much as he can and walking as much as he can. And he kept going. Next thing you know, he has this whole following and this whole massive group of people behind him, okay? Back when I was in high school, one of the many summer camps I went to, we had to do a run. I can't remember how many miles it was, but we had to do a run every single morning. Now, in my head, I already knew I couldn't run that long. That was just me. I can't run that long. But I didn't right at the moment go back to my first grade mentality. It's so much easier as a kid to keep that mentality. But when you get a little older, it gets a little harder. There was this guy who was there. He was bigger than me, taller and bigger. But he struggled making the run. So every day I would fall back just so I could run with him. And when he couldn't run no more, we walked together. Now, why would I get fussed at? Because I didn't keep up with everybody. But I was told to leave no man behind. And that's what I'm going to do. Every day I've noticed that this guy has been left here back by himself because he cannot complete this run. But all I would do was simply encourage him along the way. Just tell him, hey, it's just like 2 more steps. Don't worry about it. Come on, we're almost there. Hey, look at it. We can see a stadium from here. Come on, man. Just little small things to help get him through. Which then turned around and said to me, why couldn't I say this to myself? Sometimes it's harder to say it to ourselves. So when you're at the base of the mountain, you should say, myself saying, gotta have a brown moment. You can climb this mountain. You will climb this mountain. You will get over this challenge. It may not be beautiful all the time. You may get bumped and bruised and skin knee on the way. But you're going to give it your all. You don't know if you truly cannot do something unless you go out and try to do it. So, I didn't climb a mountain. I went about, I can't remember the elevation. Beautiful walk up in the Smoky Mountains. Got to see one of the most beautiful falls in the Smoky Mountains. Took some great pictures, great landscape. I would not change the view of that for anything. But I'm determined to go back and go to the mountaintop. Now, I was at a higher elevation when I decided to use a different mode of transportation. AKA, I went horseback riding and got a lot higher because I didn't have to walk the whole way. Now, like I said, it's not beautiful on the way. I had to fight with the horse. I had to get mud all over me because for some reason, everything else around was dry. But the woods of a mountain is just wet all the time, it seems like. You would think it's a rainforest. I had mud all over me. I was hungry, so I had to go get something to eat, smelling like horse. It wasn't pretty, but I made it higher than I did walking. So, what is the mountain in your life today? What is that thing that you're staring at that you're saying, I can't? I started to believe in myself, and now that it helped out because my podcast is on multiple platforms. If I would have said, oh no, I can't do this. I'm not Petey Pablo. I'm not Lil Wayne. I'm not Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey and all that. No. I simply said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it my try. I'm going to submit it, see what they say. They can reject it for all I care. But then I will know that someone's listening to me. They took the time and actually listened to me. So in my mountaintop today, I'm just going to go ahead and say I can. Now, I may not make it to the top today, but at least I'm starting. You may not make it to the top of your mountain today, but at least you're starting. Put I can all over the place. Wear a bracelet that says I can. Okay? But just remember that you're going to face everything and rise. Rise like the bread at the bakery. Rise and show the world just what you're made of and who is in your corner. You got this. If nobody else has told you that, you got this. Call me up. I'll tell you over and over again. So with that, Much love, peace, and blessings to you all. My name is Becky D from Becky D in the Mornings, and I do hope you all have a great, fearless day.